Most games are won with the queen and the rook. And knowing how to checkmate when you have a queen and rook left and your opponent has got just one king, just the lone king in the position, is something very important for a chess player. Because to win a game, you gotta give checkmate, right? And knowing the checkmate with these two pieces is one of the most basic things a player should be aware of, and he should be able to do it fast without too much problems. So, in this video, I'm going to help you learn how to give checkmate with the queen and the rook in a position like this. And I'm going to take you to this position after I teach you the three examples. Like in this position, imagine you're white, you've got a rook and a queen. Black king is already on the last line. You can directly give checkmate. This is how we give checkmate. The rook is covering this line, so we just put the queen down and it is checkmate. The idea is one piece has to cover the second last line, in this case the seventh rank, and the other piece, whichever is free, is going to the eighth rank. And black king has nowhere to go. This is how you give checkmate with the rook and the queen. Now, if your opponent's king is somewhere up, then we have to escort him to the end. We cannot directly give checkmate. So right now, the rook is covering the fifth rank, which means the queen has to come to this square and cover the sixth rank, right? So let's play this. Queen check. The king is forced to go back. Now the queen is covering the sixth rank, which means the rook has to cover the seventh rank. So we just put the rook down. Now king comes closer, and we get this position where the rook is already covering the seventh. So we just need to get the queen to the eighth rank, and that's checkmate. So it's all about covering the lines, the ranks. If your opponent's king is on sixth rank, we cover the fifth, sixth, then seventh, and then eighth, and game over. That's how simple it is to give checkmate with the rook and the queen. Let me take you to this position. Here, the rook is covering the fifth rank, which means we have to play queen to the sixth rank. But the thing is, the position is a little tricky now. He will come here, not allowing the rook to come to the square. The rook would like to come to the seventh rank directly, but the king is stopping it. In such cases, what do? You can just move the rook somewhere as far as possible. As far would not be here, because then the rook cannot move to the seventh. We move it as far as possible, and then when black makes a move, now we get the rook to the seventh rank. Okay. And then when king goes back, can you directly play queen a8? Yeah, we can, because when we play queen a8, we're covering the eighth, and we're also defending the rook. So there is no squares for the king. We've covered the eighth and the seventh ranks, so just checkmate. Now we come to this position, where you have a queen and rook, your opponent's king is in the middle of the board. How do we escort him to the end of the board? First, we have to decide which end we want to push him to. Do we push him here, or do we push him here, or do we push him to this side, or to this side? When you start off, doing this checkmate, when you're just new to doing this kind of checkmate, it's better to just keep your ideas to just one side or two sides, not to the left and right. There's also possible you to cover the E line, then D line, then C line, then B line, then A line. But it's easy to just keep one idea in mind. We want to cover the fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. But before covering fifth, we have to cover the fourth, right? So we first play queen here. Any piece, either the queen there, or we can put the rook here, whichever piece you want. One of the pieces have to cover the fourth rank. So we put the queen to the fourth. Now let's say king comes towards this side. Fourth is already covered. We need to cover the fifth. And how do we do it? With the rook. Let's say king comes here, stopping you from coming to the sixth rank. So what do? We just move somewhere far off. Not here again because it blocks queen. We come here, and then when king moves, we go to where we want to go, the sixth rank. Remember, the rook has to stay on the fifth, because otherwise king will come down. So we put queen to the sixth. And when king goes to the next line, we put the rook to the seventh. And then when king goes here, he cannot come here. So he goes here, directly put the queen down. And that's how we give the checkmate. Right? Now, one last thing I wanted to show you was, if your opponent's king is somewhere close to the left side or right side of the board. For example, let's say his king is somewhere here. and you have a rook, you have a queen, right? And your king is somewhere here. In such cases, you can push him to this side, but that takes 3 lines. You have to cover fifth, then sixth, then seventh, then eighth. It's far easier to push him to the left side. For that, you have to cover the C line, right? The C line, then the B line, and then the A line. You cover these 3 lines, game over. Here you have to cover 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is just 3 lines. It's already close to the edge of the board. So first we cover the C file. We can either put the rook here or we can put the queen here, whichever you prefer. Just put one of the pieces to cover the full C file. Let's say king goes here. Now we get the queen to the B file. And then when king goes to the corner, we put the rook to the A file. And that is how it is to give checkmate. It's actually a very simple process. You just cover lines, escort him to the end of the board, just push him to the end of the board, the last line, whichever line you prefer to push him to, and it's checkmate. If you cover all the lines properly, it's a very simple process.